Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and for the last week I've been driving the 2026 Mazda MX-5 Grand Touring. Up front is a 2.0 liter inline-4, and down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this ND Miata because, well, I love it. And I have been incredibly fortunate. Over the last 4 years, Mazda has loaned me one of their Miatas every single year. Here's the 2023 car, the 2024, the 2025, and now the 2026. Not a whole lot has changed, and that could be a good thing, but we'll also be talking about how maybe this car is outdated. I posted a video nearly 4 years ago asking if the ND Miata was outdated, and it is still being produced in pretty much the same fashion 4 more years later, and it looks like Mazda isn't slowing down anytime soon. And towards the end of the video, we actually get to pass a very cool personal milestone, so stick around for that. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 2-liter inline-4 under the hood. No hybrid, no turbo, no supercharger, no motor assist, nothing. This is as simple and as old school as a setup as you could possibly get in a new vehicle. 181 horsepower is plenty for this. Anything post 2018 will make that 181. They used to make around 155. It's plenty of power. It's not super torquey, but it's super rev happy. It revs to just over 7,000 RPM. And it is a blast. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed manual transmission. You can find them with 6-speed automatics as well. This is the manual. I've only driven 1 or 2 automatic Miatas. I don't love them. The manual is the way to go, and this shifter is quite honestly the best in the industry. It's just so confident, so clicky into gear, so happy to go in and out of gear. It just feels like an extension of myself. Rowing through gears doesn't feel like I'm trying to talk a mechanism into working. It feels more like I'm cracking my knuckles or stretching my legs. That's how good this manual transmission feels. And yes, I'm looking at you, Honda. I think Honda has fallen off in the last couple years and Mazda has taken the crown. Last but not least, this is rear wheel drive. Now, all manual Miatas get a limited slip differential, and all club Miatas get a limited slip differential. So if you were to get a Grand Touring in automatic, you would not get the limited slip diff, but of course this does have it. How does it feel to drive the MX-5? It's amazing. It's one of the best driving experiences you'll ever have. Is it the most thrilling, action-packed experience? No. But it's rare that Michael Bay movies find their ways onto people's favorite movie lists. It's usually something that's a little bit more story-driven, something that makes you think, something that stretches the imagination, and that's exactly what this car does while you drive it. Everything is smooth, everything is joyous. Are you moving that quickly? No, but this is truly for the enjoyment of driving rather than the showboatiness of driving. If you drive a Miata, you drive it because you like it, not because other people you think will like it. And that's the distinguishing quality of the MX-5 Miata. I have done thousands of miles in Miatas. All of them are great, and you just can't go wrong. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 2 physical gauges and a screen. So off to the left is our screen. We get our coolant temperature and fuel on that screen, as well as trip odometer and some other information. But we get a center mounted tachometer. Love this, super, super sporty. And off to the right, we have the speedometer. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have our volume, skip track info, phone options. And off to the right, we do have cruise control. Standard cruise control, nothing new here, and that's a good thing. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent. We have our traction control off for our track traction. That's that little checkered flag one. We have our standard traction control off. We have our safety features on and off, and our automatic high beams on and off. Very nice to see automatic high beams here in an MX-5. Moving on to the door, first of all, up top, you do get body color on the inside. So that is that deep crystal metallic blue paint found on the exterior that we'll talk about in a second. It is in the interior. I show all these different clips of all the different Miatas that I've filmed. I love that little touch that they have there, something similar to what Wranglers and Fiat 500s do. Down below, we do have power mirrors, power locks, and power windows, but nothing beyond that. Moving into the center, we get our little infotainment display. This does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and for the Apple CarPlay, it is touchscreen, but for the standard Mazda infotainment, it is not touchscreen. So I like this. I think this fits the car very well, and of course, it does have a backup camera. The ND is so old that when this car debuted, it actually did not come with a standard backup camera, so they had to slap it in the middle of the bumper when the government started requiring it in 2018. Down below that, we have a climate control vent and hazard switch, along with another climate control vent. They are asymmetrical. We have our climate controls, temperature off to the left, fan speed in the center, where to send it off to the right. No dual zone because you don't need it. You only have to heat about 4 cubic feet of space in here. We do have heated seats. That is one of my necessities for a Miata nowadays, is to have heated seats, just because I do love driving with the top down, even when it's chilly outside. And so those heated seats are a true lifesaver. 2 USB-Cs, love to see it. They finally transitioned over to USB-C, and we have the shifter here in the center. Like I said, just laser focused shifter, absolutely joyous to use. And I love even the look of it. We get a leather wrapped shift knob as well. Then we do get our selectors and volume for that center screen. I honestly didn't find myself using this a whole lot because I just stick to Apple CarPlay. I don't mind using this. I use it in my own personal Mazda 3. It has a similar setup, and I actually like using the dial, but I don't have to, and I found myself not really touching it this time around. Handbrake off to the right, we get a tiny little cubby in the center, and over my shoulder, not only do we get a cubby up against the bulkhead, but we do get movable cup holders. The ND is kind of famous for this. You can reposition the cup holders where you want. However, no matter where you put them, they unfortunately fail the big friggin' bottle test. The seats are comfortable, and I love this tan interior. I absolutely adore it. I think with the dark blue exterior, it's one of my favorite color combos you can get on a car. And this interior is really rocking. I'm 5'11". I fit okay. On long road trips, you know, you start to stretch out a little bit. It does feel a little bit claustrophobic, and that is sometimes why I prefer a Toyota GR86, because although the back seats are unusable, the back seats being there allows you to recline the seat a lot. You can't really recline the seat in an ND. So on longer journeys, it does get a little small and a little bit tight. So I always tell people, if you are going to only buy one car, I usually tell people to lean towards the GR86. However, if you're able to have a daily driver and a fun car, I would go Miata every day of the week. Now, we don't have any back seats, but we do have a trunk, so we'll take a quick look back there, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, we're on the back of the MX-5, and we have here on the key fob a press and hold that will pop up the trunk. Lift it up, nice, easy, and light, but as you can see, not a whole lot of space around the back. I did take one of these on a road trip, about a 600-mile road trip. I had a backpack and a duffel bag, and that was all I could fit in the trunk. This is not the grocery getter. This is not something that you would want if you are moving apartments in the city. You might want to stay away from a car like this. It is not very spacious in here. You do get a light. I guess that's kind of nice, and a Mazda roadside kit and all of those goodies. But again, no trunk space, very limited interior space. Not very good on that front, but there you go. That's the trunk of the 2026 MX-5 Grand Touring. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I adore it. Not much has changed on the Miata in its 11 years of existence. The ND here, it did get a facelift, but very, very minor, and only someone with a bachelor's degree in art philosophy can really tell you the actual differences between the ND1, ND2, and ND3 visually. But this is finished in deep crystal metallic, and I love it. My parents' CX-5s, I say that plural, have always been in this color. They lease one every 2 or 3 years. They have all been in this deep blue colors, so I have a lot of good memories with that. And I haven't driven one in this color yet. I absolutely adore it. I think it's wonderful and such a good look here on the Miata. Again, comparatively with that tan interior. Along with the looks, this is the soft top, so you can get the MX-5 in 2 different tops. This is the soft top. It is all manually operated granted, it is super easy to operate. There's one single latch in the center, you push it back, and then you have to push it all the way down to click it into place. This might be hard for someone to do who has arthritis, who has shoulder or arm problems, or just mobility issues. This might be a struggle. It's a cheaper way to get it. It does knock almost $2,000 off the price, and it also keeps the vehicle lighter. However, there is the RF, which is the retractable fastback version, which is completely power, which is going to be accessible for a lot more people. So if you do have mobility issues, if you do struggle with tasks and motor skills, then the power top is definitely for you. But I do like this manual top. You know, I can handle it for now, but I feel like as I get, 50, 60 years old, I'll probably start opting for that power top. And there's no shame in that. I do really, really enjoy the power top. I also think the RF cars look really, really good. They look like a hardtop Miata, even though they kind of are, kind of aren't, and I really, really enjoy that. So this is the soft top here. You don't hear the noise on the highway too bad, especially in the Grand Touring. It actually gets more padding in its soft top than the traditional Sport. So that's nice, but those are the two top options for the MX-5. Now it's time to get on to my final thoughts, and as you might notice on camera, I'm not wearing my normal review outfit, and there's good reason for that. Even when I reviewed a $500,000 Rolls Royce, I did not take off my review outfit. So it must be important here today. The ND Miata has been on sale since 2015. This is the 11th year of the ND, and by a lot of measures, that makes this vehicle outdated. It is way underpowered comparatively to other sports cars on the market, particularly the GR86. The GR86 has beaten it for a few years now, and Mazda has not had a rebuttal. The screen in here is small, unlike most other vehicles. It has very rudimentary things. It does not have auto rev matching, does not have adaptive cruise. However, there's something special about the familiarity that this car brings. Now, last week I just got out of the GR Corolla, and I was a little worried stepping into the Miata because I was taking a nearly 50% horsepower cut. But once I got behind the wheel of the Miata, those worries went away. It was very familiar immediately. My foot is still tuned to downshifting a Miata. Every time I review a manual car, it takes me a couple of downshifts to really start nailing the rev match. And the Miata, it was instant. It was like riding a bike. So when you find something that's so great, that's so perfect, that's so personal, the simple truth is that you don't ever want it to stop. The day that the ND leaves production will be a sad day, whether that's tomorrow or 10 years from now. No matter what, I want to soak up as much time as I can with the Miata because it will never, ever be enough time. You want to hold on to it forever and ever and ever. And that's why I'm dressed up here today. Because I found something that I want to hold on to forever. Something special, something that I never want to end. And the mere idea of it not being a majority part of my life is devastating. Just the idea of losing it, I don't know if I can emotionally handle. And that is why I'm dressed up today. I have a little errand to run, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. So I am proposing to my girlfriend. By the time you see this video, hopefully it should be done. Now, if tomorrow's video is a Sequoia TRD Pro, that means it went well. But if it's not a TRD Sequoia tomorrow, I have bad news, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I've been with my girlfriend for 10 years. Almost the exact same run as the ND. The ND actually came out a couple months before we started dating. And so it was right to drive this car to the jewelry store, to pick up the ring. I hope this car sticks around for a lot longer. I know it's been here for a long time. But like I mentioned, when you find something that you love, when you find something that gratifies you, when you find something that brings meaning, you never, want to get rid of it. And as you might have picked up, I'm not totally talking about the Miata. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am so incredibly nervous, but it's time. It's time. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.